energy.
Yes, ma'am.
You're the greatest coach ever.
And just keep smiling. But yeah, I mean, the fact that you're focusing, you've got an external focus on helping. One, you're working with entrepreneurs, so you're already working with people that are willing to take a chance in life. But the whole thing about giving back is so huge. I mean, if we all do something to impact our community and not let it just be all about ourselves and our own, what's it going to be our, who we're going to meet after work, what's going to, it's, if you get some of that outward focus, it's amazing how it lifts you up internally.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So, and you're our next generation. We're counting on you.
It's happening less and
Don't
less.
feel
No pressure, but
they're like, dude,
Our generation screwed you guys up.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
But so anyway, you're our future. So Fred and I are banking on you.
Hey, yes,
Our
ma'am.
money's on you.
Hey, girl, I accept
Our
it.
money's on you.
I love it.
All right.
I see you. She's amazing. Right? Just happy. Spread the positive to a T, man. Miss Lisa. Let me get this to not recline, but who cares? Alright. Make sure I got this setting right.
So cool. Use Logic. What?
Audacity.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, man. Let's see here. Let's go that one.
Testing.
Mic check. Hot mic. All right. You good, man?
I'm good.
And Stephen Delahoussaye.
Delahoussaye.
Delahoussaye. Got you. Pretty close there.
It's impossible. Do I talk loud? Do I talk into
It'll.
Do I talk my head?
No, just common. Just regular voice, and it should pick up just fine. I can add it later on if we need it. So let's go. Here we go. Welcome everyone to another episode of the Spread the Positive podcast. Super pumped about this episode. Got my man Stephen Delahoussaye with he's with Compass Real Estate here in Nashville, and also has a initiative he started called Nashville's Very Own, bringing entrepreneurs together to do business transactions, connect, and also has a philanthropic outreach effort tied in as well. So obviously everything we're about here at Spread the Positive. So super pumped to have him on, give his thoughts on the typical Spread the Positive topics, and just see how we can collaborate moving forward. So Stephen, thank you for being on.
Oh, Trent, man, I'm so excited to be here, and I'm looking forward to this conversation. I love what Spread the Positive's doing, my friend.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate that. So typically how we do it, just a little backstory, where you're from, early passions, what childhood was like, everything along those lines.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm originally from Lafayette, Louisiana. My dad used to sell airplanes for a living.
Wow.
So we would travel quite often for his sales position. So we moved to Texas, where my brother and sister still are, and then we went from Texas to North Carolina, and then here. But I've been here since I was about 7 years old or so.
Wow.
Raised in Brentwood, Tennessee. Went to Brentwood High School. That's where I met my beautiful wife, Emily.
Wow, high school sweetheart.
Still together, man.
That's amazing.
It's been like 10 years or something crazy.
Dude, that's amazing, man.
I know. Love her to death. So then I graduated from Brentwood High School. I went to UT Chattanooga and pursued a physical therapy degree.
Yep.
Went all the way. I went through the whole thing. I interned at Vanderbilt, got in, all that stuff. And at the last minute, I realized that I was choosing to do physical therapy because I had suffered a back injury in high school, and it was all I knew.
Wow.
But I really wasn't that passionate about being in the medical field, so to speak. So one day I decided to audible, and I love the people aspect of the medical industry, but I just didn't like being stuck into a very small, ill-lit room. So I ended up becoming a personal trainer.
Okay.
And I was a personal trainer for about 1.5 years, and then I moved on from that to becoming the wellness coordinator and then director of the Brentwood YMCA on Concord Road.
Right.
And then after that,
a staple, man. It's been there.
That is my home,
yeah.
my friend. There are not a lot of places you can go, and you're just automatically accepted when you open the door. And the Brentwood YMCA, any YMCA, in my
Right.
opinion, is one of those places. I'm actually still a board member
Nice, man.
for the Y, just
Oh,
because
yeah.
I could not cut ties. So I left the Y at 25 after running the wellness and nutrition department, and I joined real estate,
Okay.
and that's what I'm doing now. So
Nice.
that's kind of my little background for you.
Man, that's efficient, really to the point. Like it a lot. I got to give a little plug to the Brentwood YMCA, man. Really random, but when I was in 6th grade, we moved from Nashville, North Carolina, to one of those apartments off of
Oh yeah,
I guess is that Carruthers? Yeah,
the
Carruthers.
landings probably something like
Well,
that.
yeah, somewhere back in the Cool Springs area, and I went to Woodland Middle School for 3 months, random. But I was a huge fan
That's
of that
awesome.
YMCA.
Oh, that's great,
I went
dude.
there. I went there a lot.
Dude, let me
during
tell
those
you.
3 months, man.
Let me tell you. I'm gonna throw in one more Y plug real quick.
Same.
When I was a personal trainer at the Y, we had a client, a lady come in, and she was diagnosed with terminal cancer. And you could tell, I mean, every day she would come in, she would look weaker and weaker. And she was dying to have physical therapy,
Wow.
to work with one of my trainers. I led the trainers. She wanted to work with this girl named Lauren, but she could not afford it because all of her money was going towards chemotherapy. So I spoke to my boss, and without question, we gave her free sessions for the remainder of her life, 3
Wow.
times a week.
That's
And it was
incredible.
the most uplifting thing to see. And she actually was able to live another 6 months
Wow.
because, one of the reasons at least, because of the personal training the Y provided at no cost. It was a really uplifting environment.
Yeah, man.
And it's nice to see selfless giving like that, you know?
Absolutely. That would fit perfectly into one of our segments. What's going right? That's a textbook example. of, like,
Absolutely.
so shouts to the Brentwood Y and the YMCA in general, or the Y as they call it now. But,
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, man. So that's amazing. So nowadays you got your real estate career. Go ahead and plug everything you got going with that, and speak about how Nashville's very own came along.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So as far as real estate goes, I take a little bit different approach to it. I'm not the most salesy person.
Right.
You know, I truly believe that you get referrals in any business based off word of mouth and just the service you provide.
Right.
So I don't have a ton of plugs for that. I will say I love my job. I think that Nashville is an incredible city where you cannot go wrong buying or selling anything right now.
Right.
And with everything moving to the city, the intense growth we're having in the
Yeah.
city, I mean, you're going to be able to make some good investments moving forward. So I'm looking forward to that. As far as Nashville's very own, you know, I created Nashville's very own as, you know, our tagline is it's a platform of inspiration that leads to growth and service back to the community. And I created that platform for one of the sole reasons being me in real estate.
Yeah.
And not to grow my real estate business, but because of the faults I found in the real estate and in entrepreneurship industry.
Yeah.
I would try to grow my business when I first started. You know, we're all out there grinding, knocking
For
on
sure.
doors and
Mhm.
stuff. And I would go to networking events. And I think we had this conversation,
Yeah.
but you go to a networking event, you pay $5 to get in. It's a social mixer, as they call it. And they slap a name tag on you. They always spell mine wrong. I'll tell you that right now. I cannot tell you, because of Steph Curry, how many times I have been called Stephen the past 4 years. It's mind blowing.
Sorry, I just snorted on that.
It's mind-blowing.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so I love it. I've got a good shot, but it's not gonna.
Yeah.
But anyways, there's just not a lot of depth to those networking events. It's extremely on the surface and topical, you know. And you have conversations with other people at networking events, and it's who are you and what do you do? And if you can't benefit me, I'm going to go ask the next person. I'll
Right.
never see you again. So I created NVO, you know, as a disruption to that, because I think that we are defined by much more than our job titles.
Right.
You know, like, yes, I'm a real estate agent, but did you know that I crush at flag football? Or, you know, like, I'm a diehard LSU Tigers fan.
Yeah.
We are going to be national champions.
You coming in hot?
Yeah, we're coming in hot. But, you know,
Coach O.
that's dude.
Coach O's
Hold on, go Tigers.
Man, it's hard to hate on that.
Oh, man, I love it.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think that there is just so much more to people.
Yeah.
And I feel like because of technology and because of the way we've structured networking events and because of the way that we just talk to one another now.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like it's just what you do. What do you do for a living? It's just the question you ask. Right off the bat.
I know.
Not why are you here?
Or what are you passionate
What
about?
do you love to
Yeah,
do?
right.
You know, how do you spread the pot? We don't ask those things.
Absolutely.
So I started that group called NVO, National Very Own, and because that did not exist in the regular networking events, it exploded.
Yeah.
Because people want to feel valued.
Totally.
We all want to feel of value, and on top of that, we all want to give value. Imagine, here's a hypothetical situation. Imagine you have a pair of shoes that you don't need anymore.
Right.
Do you think you'd feel differently if let's two different scenarios. Scenario A, you drive up to a Goodwill and you see a box that says, please put shoes in box. You put the shoes in the box and you don't know where they go, but you hope they go somewhere great.
Right.
You feel kind of good about it.
Yeah.
Scenario B, you go to a 5K that's sponsored by the West Nash Dream Center, where those children have no home, they can't get groceries, they have nothing.
Right.
And instead of going to that box, you actually go to a 5K, you hand a kid the shoes, and they run with you at your side.
Yeah.
It's a whole different feeling between.
Sign me up for beef.
Yeah, I know, right? It's a whole different feeling between those scenarios. So
Yeah.
what I tried to do with NVO was make it more of that face-to-face giving instead of that topical giving, because it's just so much. It makes you feel twice as good.
Yeah, just the hands-on with anything. It's just
Absolutely.
like a lot more. What do you call it? Like just more. Like you'll just grow more. You'll learn more just with the hands-on doing it yourself versus just like
It's
you
just
said,
a different.
donating.
You see the result. You see the people you help.
Absolutely, I love that, man. I love that you had that type of self-awareness to want to make sure you're doing it in that regard.
Yeah.
Shouts, man. That's
Yeah.
big time.
Yeah.
Dude, I love it. I love the whole mission. It's something really similar to what we're, aiming to build with the network aspect of Spread the Positive, just with, individuals and businesses and companies, nonprofits that all align with our core principles, which are pretty, hate to say, just like fundamental what we should be doing anyway. No ties, no agendas, just, helping people where we can, doing business the right way, high integrity, high transparency. And like we were kind of saying, beyond just the superficial approach to business, and like connecting on not just a business transaction, but a way to connect in the community, a way to do outreach, a way to bring light to something that's really making a positive impact. So
absolutely,
the synergies with NVO and STP, man, are
STP, man.
NVO collabs,
I like that.
bro. It's not the oil, not Stone Temple Pilots, Spread the Positive, man. We're out here. So dude, yeah, right. Shouts to Stone Temple Pilots. Not so much the oil company.
Give some love.
Yeah, man. Just that kind of goes in well. Like, is there something you can attest the community-oriented approach that I can say the way I've developed it has been coming up in the YMCA and doing stuff like that my whole life. I think it's just kind of something our generation was really taught to like buy into, a community-oriented approach when you're doing anything. Yeah. So what can you attest that to, and why is it so important to you to have those bigger picture, community oriented with your day-to-day life? Yeah.
I mean, I think it's just through the experiences we gain throughout our lives.
For sure.
I've done a couple different things where I've kind of been able to see what, how much we have more than other people, and how much and why we should take on that invisible responsibility of giving back. You know what I mean?
1,000%.
I had this experience when I shout out to the Y again, but I worked in Chattanooga with this company called Mobile Fit. It was a branch of the Y.
Cool. And
all Mobile Fit did, and this is still just it blows my mind. All they did was they would get a trailer, and they would put in the trailer jump ropes, footballs, soccer balls, frisbees, cones, speed drills, things like that. They would take that trailer and they would drive to the most dangerous parts of Chattanooga.
Hell yeah.
They would sound an alarm on the truck. They would open the trailer, and all they would do would play. They would play with these children who all day are dealing drugs, getting shot, gang banging, you name it.
Right.
It doesn't matter the age. They could be 25. They could be 2,
yeah, right.
and they're still just bringing joy to communities that just don't have a lot of it. Mobile Fit.
And it's through the Y?
It was through the Y. I don't know if it's still going on or not. You can't quote me.
You need to run that back.
Man, I know, dude. I know.
Yeah.
But, it's amazing. It's amazing how a stereotype that we have on these environments is so not the case. These people are just like us.
Right.
We're all the same. They just want to have some fun with the community and get involved and feel valued again.
Right, yeah.
So seeing something like that, then just working at the nonprofit, and then, one day, my first year in sales, I made over $100,000.
Wow.
And I thought that too. until December came around. I realized that I had all this money and I'm cheap, frugal, and didn't want to spend it. So I actually got no joy out of it, right? And I thought to myself, I said, this can't, this is a goal that we all strive for in college, is to make 6 figures.
Yeah.
And I've done it and I don't feel great.
Right.
And I thought to myself, I said, what is missing in my life right now? So that one Saturday, me and my best friend went to the American Cancer Association and we played bingo with cancer patients for 2 hours. I'm not kidding you. I worked from January through December 20th, busting my ass to make $100,000.
Yeah.
That one weekend around Christmas time for 2 hours was more fulfilling than that entire 11 and a half month stretch.
Wow,
and I think there's something to that. And that is why I also made NVO, because I want people to realize that there are other ways to give your time that don't maybe make you the monetary value in your bank account, but give you so much more inside of your heart. So that was really a big moment for me.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Dude, that's
coffee's kicking in, bro.
You're coming with the heat today.
This was like a 24-ounce coffee.
Yeah, man, that's so good. I love Mobile Fit, man. I want to get that going.
I feel like
that's not that hard to put together, really.
Not at all, dude. Just gotta get a trailer.
Yeah, right. That's about all we're lacking. That's awesome. There's a group that it's a common thread on the podcast. People probably get sick of hearing about it, but I always want to plug them when I can. Endure Athletics in Murfreesboro, they service the homeless youth population.
Wow.
Really, really rough hotel, like bounce around room to room. Like these kids are like homeless, and it's crazy.
That's unbelievable.
This family, the Bigelow family, Joel and Jeannie and their 4 daughters, man, they've dropped everything, just gone all in on serving this population. They're going on 3.5 years, almost 4, I think, and like literally changing lives, man. And it's amazing. It's another one of the main topics we like to talk about. You've just been kind of nugget here, nugget there with what's going right, but that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing with Spread the Positive in itself, and I think it's really similar with MBO, just bringing light to those things that are making a positive impact, helping the community beyond just yourself, beyond just monetary gain, beyond, just donating, like as important as that is and the impact that can have, just the physical action, like what you've been saying this whole time is just so important. So always got to plug Endure, man. If y'all don't know about Endure Athletics by now, endureathletics.org, or follow them on social media, man. They're literally changing lives. Like kids going from not having driver's license, a year later they're playing rugby at MTSU on a scholarship. Man, stuff like that, and they had that whole range too. It's like, I think the youngest is like 6 to, juniors in high school, now in college. So shouts to Endure, shouts to the Bigelows. Big things. But yeah, man, that is kind of one of the main segments we like to really focus on, is what's going right, man. According to you, man, what is going right in the world?
Man, there's a lot going wrong in the news, but there is so much going right in person. I think that what's crazy is when you look at, I for a second there, whenever I dive into something new, I obsess over it.
Right.
So when I was looking at making NVO a nonprofit, I kind of obsessed over it, and I looked at all the nonprofits.
Right.
Let me tell you what is going right. There are so many different organizations just in the Nashville area that are looking to change and make this place better.
Absolutely.
If you're ever thinking of starting a nonprofit, take some time and just do your research, because one may already be existing that you can just partner with.
So that's very likely.
It is very likely. And it's really, really unbelievable. Another thing that I'm starting to see, and that is definitely making the world right, is like the amount of social enterprises.
Yeah.
You have places, such as Project 615 or things like that. Shout out to Project 615 though. I love those people.
Absolutely.
But they understand that they need to make a profit, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But they also understand the need to give a percentage of that profit to causes and raise money and raise awareness.
Totally.
And using their incredibly large social media backgrounds, they're able to do it quickly.
Yeah.
So I think that a lot of that is going right in the world. I think that people are starting to make adjustments in their mindset to realize that it's more than just about yourself.
Right.
And we're combating a lot of things in the world right now.
Totally.
Politics, media, Instagram,
social media.
all those different things we fight off
Yeah.
to really make sure that we have these face-to-face conversations.
Totally.
And I think that we're doing a good job about it, and I think the biggest thing that we can do right now is spread the positive,
Right.
which is why I'm sitting here, because I
love
think
it,
that
bro.
what you're doing is so essential.
Yeah. I felt that way a long time ago, and now it's like you said, exponentially stronger. I'm like, yeah. So I appreciate that. And
Dude, absolutely.
Yeah. I gotta give another plug here real quick.
Keep plugging, man.
Yeah,
Plug
man,
away.
that's what this is about. Just like
Heck
bring it
yeah.
back to the good stuff. So big fan of everything that Sunny Bray Cartmel is doing. Do you know Sunny?
I do not.
So she runs Network Under 40. Got to give a plug to Network Under 40.
Oh yeah.
Not your typical, top, like, just superficial networking group.
Absolutely.
It's pretty legit. It's actually really legit. Shouts to Network Under 40. Made some amazing connections there, and connecting with Sunny has been a huge blessing. And she just started a company called Catalyst Collective, man. And it's basically like a one-stop shop for nonprofits to, get help with funding, get help with, web development, fundraising. Pretty much anything a nonprofit needs to actually do the work they're doing, that's what Catalyst Collective is all about.
It's huge.
Yeah, man, she's killing the game, and like it's exactly what you're saying. Just like there's so many of these nonprofits that are doing amazing work, and her whole mission is to bring light to that and help facilitate. So it's super spread the positive, super
man.
So man, get all three of those little networks all working together, man.
Dude, we're gonna take over the world, bro.
It could be a force, man. So super grateful to have crossed paths with Sunny. She's doing big things. Check out Network Under 40 and Catalyst Collective. But yeah, man, that's just I love what you just said, because I couldn't agree more. And shouts to Project 615. I mean, I think I was talking to Matt Blinko, one of the co-founders. He was saying like they raised, I think it was like $200-something thousand, and then they were like doing a well in Africa the next week.
It's
like,
unbelievable. I mean, those people take
that
action.
type of impact. I mean, it's literally instant, just about.
That's what it takes. Just take action.
Yeah,
Just do
man.
something.
Absolutely. Nashville's killing it, dude. I love being here. There's so much good stuff that
There is so much good stuff, and I feel like we're optimizing. Like, we already have a magnifying glass on us. We're one of the hottest markets in the nation. I think we're number 3 or something.
Right.
But we're optimizing that, and we're using it to spread the positive and to do things that give back to the community. We're not just taking all this growth and kicking out the ones who we think don't or do deserve it. We're taking the growth and we're sharing it.
And like building
we're
up,
uplifting.
building people up for sure.
Yeah.
Super spread the positive. That's what we're about here, man. Love it, dude. So yeah, one of the kind of another one of the signature segments. I always like to ask our guest, when you hear the phrase "spread the positive," who's one of the first people that comes to mind outside of who's directly associated with it, but like.
Oh man, that's a good one.
Right?
Who comes to my mind when I hear "spread the positive"?
It just lives it out. Like you've been familiar with the mission for a while. So
I could list
a lot.
First of all, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, bro. I mean, come on. Where are we at? Where are we at with that man? Come on, dude. That guy's worth like $100 billion, but he still takes the time to pull his trunk over and sign a fan shirt.
Right.
So I think that's definitely somebody. I mean, just to name someone who's local, I idolize Hal Cato. He is the CEO of Thistle Farms.
Oh, yeah.
That guy will do anything for those women that work with his company.
That's amazing.
And it's really unbelievable. And if you're not familiar with Thistle Farms is a nonprofit organization that makes products such as candles, things like that, but they only employ women who have been through the struggle.
Wow.
Prostitution, homelessness, drug addiction, things like that.
Dang.
They put them through therapy. They have group sessions. They employ them. They pay them good money. And they are a family.
Right.
And their only thing is help one another and be kind.
Wow.
And that's what Hal Cato does. That's what Thistle Farm strives to do. And
What's
it
his
is Hal Cato, H-A-L. So he actually came and spoke at one of my NVO events.
Man.
And his biggest thing is just to live, laugh, and love.
Dope.
And give back to everyone you possibly can. And it always returns in full force.
Usually tenfold.
Seriously. I mean, it's unbelievable. And then there's a couple different Nashville natives that I would say idolize and that spread the positive. But on a more broad segment, I would just say if someone opens the door for you, if someone says have a great day for no reason, if someone leans over and gives a homeless guy a McDonald's gift card,
Right.
like those people are the real heroes.
Totally.
Because those people are the ones that they do it once, and then that one person they help does it again.
Snowballing.
Does it again.
Yep.
And that one person who we may or may not know their name just spread the positive to 45 people.
There you go.
You know, and I think that's the goal. And that's the goal of what you're doing, and that's the goal of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It's to make more of those people, those unknown heroes.
Right.
You know what I
Absolutely,
mean?
man. We call those racks.
Racks, baby.
Real and random acts of kindness. Man.
Yes.
Rack 'em
Racks
up.
on racks on racks.
Yeah, rack them up, man. That's,
I love
that's
that.
one of our concepts we've been working on. So, dude, that's everything, bro. Shouts to Hal Cato.
He's
awesome.
awesome.
Is he local?
He's in Nashville, yeah.
Okay.
He's there. So Visible Farms is located right off of Charlotte Avenue,
Oh, okay.
right by Hattie B's.
Yeah.
Great place.
Okay. Shouts to Hattie B's.
Shouts to Hattie B's.
Yep.
I love the soul shouts too.
Yeah, man. Always got to get as many in there as you can. Just the stuff that's going right. Spread the positive.
Shouts to
man.
Regions Coffee.
Yeah, we do need to give a big shout out to Lisa Harless and the
Yeah,
Regions
man.
team,
They're awesome.
This conference room is on point, always hooking us up with the Nashville quick. I hit Elizabeth up on Monday, I believe. Hey, Wednesday availability? Yep. So we just come through at 10 to 11. We'll knock this out.
I
So
love it.
yeah, shouts to Lisa Harless. She always says, "Where are the stars, babe?" Regions on Music Row, man. Love Miss Lisa
Where are the
Harless.
stars, babe?
Yeah,
I
man.
love
So yeah, man, we're just knocking this out. I appreciate. I'm a huge fan of everything, man. Also, another shout out to Caitlin Grenier,
Oh,
like
yeah.
a diabetic, and
She's amazing.
Whole Vibrance, just killing it. Everything spread the positive. She's one of the best examples of spread the
Yeah.
positive that I've come across in a while, and a huge fan of what we're doing. Looking forward to connecting more with her. But man, yeah, thank you for bringing it. Thank you, Caitlin, for the connection here. Stephen,
Yes.
thank you for all you're doing, bro.
Of course, man.
Huge fan of it all. Looking forward to doing some cool stuff because I think the synergies are just stupid.
Yeah.
Stupid in line, and just really, really cool everything you're doing, and just want to be involved, bro. Like
I
let's do some big
appreciate it.
things.
I appreciate it. I think that's where the biggest impact comes in with people. Don't worry as much about growing their own image or brand, but worry as much about partnering with others and
Right,
doubling
man.
that impact.
Like,
So I think that we can reach out and help
I'm
a lot of
point
people.
guard. I'm a point guard, man.
Dude,
I like to
let's go.
facilitate. I'm
Let's
out here
go.
just getting into the superstars, man.
Let's get it,
We'll get that
man.
ring.
Let's
though.
get it.
We'll get the rings, but I use that analogy in an uncomfortable amount on here as well, man. People are probably sick. I say the same things on these things all the time, but it's all about the guests, man. And you're doing it, man. You live out, spread the positive on a crazy level. Pumped to keep all this moving and do some big things.
Of course.
Man. So do you have kind of like a mantra, go-to quote that kind of ties this all together?
Man, jeez, I
I didn't send you the overview.
I love
man.
quotes. No,
Okay.
that's all right. That's all right. One day I was so just to kind of break down why I left and joined real estate.
Mhm.
Just real quick, because this will kind of come to this quote. One day I went inside the YMCA. Again, I love that place. But I went inside the YMCA and I sat down on my computer. And this is a shout out to anyone who's listening to this and does not like their job.
Right.
Just listen to this next 3 minutes because it'll be worth your time. I sat on my computer and I started typing. I was in a little cubicle and I thought I had been there for 4 hours. Like literally, just looking at budget sheets, like making sure everything's going well. 4 hours. I look up at that stupid analog clock that we all hate with the red little...
Yeah.
Yeah. It had been 10 minutes, dude.
Whoa.
10 minutes.
I've
I
had
thought
those
to
moments,
myself, and I know people listening to this are going to think this too. I thought to myself, I said, why am I doing what I'm doing?
Wow.
I said, do I want to be my boss? Like, this is what
Right.
we're all working to move up, right?
Right.
So, do I want to move up and be my boss? No.
Right.
Okay. Do I want to be his boss? No. Do I want to be his boss? No. I went all the way up the corporate ladder to the person.
Yeah.
And I could not see myself being in any of those positions. And I asked myself, I said, what am I doing here?
Right.
Am I really here to make $34,000 a year and clock in and clock out every day? And I know it sounds much easier than it actually is, but I made a decision that day to bet on myself. And I think that we should all think about doing that, especially in a generation where we can make $1 doing anything.
Right.
So that day I put in my 2 weeks notice. I had no idea what I was doing. I moved in with my parents.
Yeah.
Moved out of this amazing situation I was in. Moved in with my parents. Lived upstairs, And I took the time to figure out what my passions were. I went to a dark place, I'm not gonna lie to you,
Yeah.
but it was worth it. You know, every day, because of all the different, I'm going on a tangent here.
No,
but
you're good. I love it.
because of all the different stimulants we have in our daily lives, we tend to forget that we should self-reflect. And we should really come to terms with who we are and what we're trying to do and why we think the things we think and why we do what we do. And so I used that time to be unemployed, to self-reflect. And I started to realize that, A, I wanted my bank account to be a reflection of my work ethic, which is why I went into real estate or just any self-employed
Right.
position. But B, I also wanted the flexibility not to do the things I wanted, but to give back more.
Yeah.
You know? So I quit, moved in with my parents, and I read a quote. And the quote that I read is going to sound so stupid.
No.
But just hear me out. The quote I read was, do nothing and accomplish nothing. That's literally all I read. And for some reason, I've read hundreds of quotes. I read, 20 to 30 books a year.
Right.
But that quote of do nothing, accomplish nothing hit me super freaking hard. It was 4 words. And I thought to myself, I said, man, if I do nothing, which do nothing to me meant wake up and do what I'm just groomed to do. Wake up, eat breakfast, go to work, go home, watch Netflix or whatever. Do the life that we all choose to live. But I wouldn't accomplish anything. What would be in between? What would be in between those dashes on my tombstone? Would it say anything?
Right.
What would they say? So I decided that day that I'm going to do something. I'm going to be more.
Yeah.
And I'm going to accomplish something. So I know it's not the greatest quote in the world, but do nothing, accomplish nothing really woke me up to realize that we need to do more with our lives
Absolutely.
because of the people we can impact, the things we can do.
Absolutely. You're doing it, man. Big time.
We're doing it, baby.
Let's go.
Making
Yo,
moves.
STP, let's go, man. We're out
STP.
here. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Well, thank you, dude. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for being on, and thank you for all you're doing to spread the positive, bro.
Trent, thank you so much. This is such a great impact you're doing to society, and I think that you need to realize that. And no matter what, like we had our conversation, keep going because every single time you mention the word spread the positive, you're doing it.
Right.
Every podcast you have, every event you host, it's just going to grow and grow and grow like wildfire because you truly believe in what you're doing, and it shows. So I'm so thankful to be here, and I can't thank you enough.
Absolutely. That's how you wrap up a podcast. Let's go, man. Appreciate you.
Of course.
Damn. Got me in my feels again, bro.
How was that?
It was so good.
Was it good?
Yes, bro. Perfect time.
Are you sure?
Yes, it was so good. That was one of the best
I didn't know
ones
if,
today.
okay, I didn't
You
know if
killed
I
it,
should
man.
have, okay.
No, I was thinking of some of, how do you spell this again?
Delahousaye. Yep.
Compass.
Yep.
Bro, killed that.
It was good.